Hello, welcome to another Photoshop tutorial. Today we're going to cover reflections. So let me just start by typing in something. Typing rocking info. It's rocking info. Okay, and I'm going to center this. Now the first thing we do is we duplicate our layer. So with our layer selected, we come up to layer and duplicate layer. I'm just going to rename this to reflection, click OK. Next, for our reflection layer, we're going to come up to edit, transform, and flip it. We flip it because reflections are upside down. And next, with our move tool selected and our reflection layer selected, we're going to move our text downwards. So hold on shift and use the arrow keys to move it down. And just create a very small space between the two texts. Next, we want to create a new layer mask and use the gradient tool to fade our reflection. So the first thing we want to do is right where our colors are, foreground and background colors, press D on their keyboard to select the default, with black as our foreground and white as our background. Now press X to switch them, so that now we have white as our foreground and black as our background. Now click on the gradient tool and right at the top, click on the down arrow and select the first one. If you don't have this palette selected, click here and select reset gradients. So select the first one. Now with our reflection layer selected, come down and click on the add layer mask. Now we're going to move our cursor right at the top of our reflection text and hold on shift so that we get a straight gradient, and we're going to drag it all the way to the bottom of our reflection text and let go. There we go. Now it doesn't look that good, right? So we're gonna change our opacity of our reflection layer from 100% to something lower. In this case, 20% looks good. So that's it for our reflection tutorial. Hello, so now I'm going to show you how to use the reflection method and create a very interesting effect. So just realized I spelled rocking info wrong, so let me just correct that. There we go. Now we do the same thing. Duplicate the layer. Call this reflection. Now we want to rasterize both of these. So right click on the layer and rasterize type. Same thing for the reflection layer. And I'm going to uncheck reflection layer. Now we're going to create this cool effect. So for that we're going to go to edit, transform, and perspective. To use perspective, we have to convert our text layer to a rasterize type. And that's why we created the rasterize type. So once we click on the perspective, we're gonna, right at the top left hand corner, there's this box. We're gonna click on that and drag it upwards. As you can see, it creates this very cool looking effect. And once we have it, we're gonna let go and press enter or click right here. Okay, so that's our main text, and now we're going to move on to the reflection. So I'm going to uncheck rocking info and click on the reflection layer. So this time we're going to create before we do the perspective on our reflection, we're going to do the gradient effect and using the mask tool first, because this way the gradient tool works properly. So let's create our mask tool, add layer mask, and click on our gradient tool. And now the colors, we want to choose black here first, instead of white. So initially it was probably white and black, but we used X, hit X on the keyboard to change it to black and white. You'll see later on why X is. And we basically click on the top of our text, hold down shift, drag it downwards, and there we go. Next we're going to add the perspective effect on our reflection. To do that, we're going to turn on our text there, and we're going to change the opacity a little bit lower so that we can see what's going on. And click on our reflection there and go to edit, transform, and perspective. So we're going to line it up, holding down the top left hand corner of our box, and so that it's almost the same. There we go, I think that's pretty good, and hit enter. Now with the reflection is selected, click on edit, transform, and flip vertical. And I'm gonna bring the opacity of our text back to 100% and select our reflection there again, and use the move tool, select the move tool, and hold down shift and drag it down. Just line it up so there's a little bit of white space between the two arrows. And now we're going to use the skew tool to line up our reflection. So we went to edit, transform, skew. So now we're going to, right at the middle, you get this double arrow. So we're going to hold it down and drag it upwards to line up with our text. There we go, and we're gonna hit enter. As you can see, the eyes are not lined up properly, so we're gonna do a transform on this as well. So we're gonna go to edit, transform, and we're just gonna do a free transform, and we're gonna just make it bigger so that the eyes, so everything is lined up properly. I think that's fine, and hit enter. And we're just going to change our opacity from 100% to something lower. So there we go. Hope you liked this tutorial, and please subscribe.
Music by Kevin MacLeod.